currently they're sitting with a record of 5-18, which is 15th position in the West, dead last. This is a team that last year finished 6th in the West with a 42-40 record, so it wasn't a record that was going to take them to be a genuine contender.
Yeah.
They lost to OKC in the first round, but to fall off as dramatically as they have, something's gone terribly wrong. Obviously, they've had a lot of injuries, which is a contributing factor to their losses, especially when the caliber of talent that has been sitting in suits rather than in their game gear. Dirk Nowitzki strained Achilles. He's missed 16 games so far, which is a sizable portion. And even the games he has played, it's even as good as Dirk is, it's unreasonable to think you're just going to be able to come back and have an instant impact. Bogut's missed a lot with his knee. JJ Barea's missed a lot, which he's underrated as well.
He's key to them.
He was second on their team in scoring, even having only played 9 games. So he's a major part of the reason why they're struggling. Obviously, this is a big challenge for Rick Carlisle, he's one of the most successful coaches in recent history. He's only in his 14 previous seasons, he's only had one team finish below 500, which were the 06 and 07 Pacers. So, and obviously he's had huge success with Dallas, taking him to the championship a few years ago now. But this is a massive challenge and something that he hasn't really had to deal with much in his time. He's generally had teams that were up there and contending for titles most years, or at least above the 500 cut. It's the worst start to a Dallas season since the 93 and 94 Mavs, who started 2-39, ended up finishing 13-69. So they're doing better than that, but
still not.
Yeah, there's still some massive issues. Obviously, we'll just take a look at where it's gone wrong for them. Offensively, they're averaging 92.7 points per game, which is dead last.
Struggling. Absolutely struggling.
Yeah. They've only reached the 100 mark 5 out of their 23 games, which is not impressive in any way. Obviously, Barnes has been their main man. We talked about him a few weeks ago, still averaging over 20 points. But then, as we mentioned, the next in line is JJ Barea, averaging 16.3, and he's only played 9 games. Wesley Matthews is averaging 16.1, which is all right, but he's not shooting it with the consistency that he's shown he can. Yeah, exactly. And then after that, it's just a straight fall off a cliff for scoring wise. They've just got no one who can help out with no Dirk there. Then on the other end, rebounding, they're averaging under 40 boards per game, 39.7, which is dead last in the NBA. So they can't protect the rim. They're also averaging 3.6 blocks per game, which is dead last in the NBA. So they have no rim protection, and they can't rebound, and they can't score.
If you can't score, you can't defend. You're losing games.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
I mean, if we just look at their rebounding leaders, Bogut's obviously the only one averaging over 10 boards, but again, he's missed numerous games with the bruised knee. Then Nowitzki at 6.4 boards, and he's only played a handful of games. Then their leading rebounder, who's actually played a decent level of games, is Harrison Barnes, who's averaging 5.7. I mean, there are other centers who are actually filling in for Bogut, like Mesri and stuff, averaging around 3 or 4 boards.
What are you doing there?
Exactly.
If you're a center, if you can't do anything offensively, then if you can't even grab boards, what are you doing in the team?
Exactly.
Honestly.
They've got huge issues. Just looking apart from the issues, because everybody knows they've got issues, what the future holds for them, what the best decisions are. Obviously, it's a big decision in terms of what you do with Dirk. I think they need to be really careful not to rush him back because, let's be honest, he's 38 years old and this is his 19th season in the league. There's no guarantee that Dirk's got... I mean, he's probably got one at least as part of his contract that he's got one more, but there's no guarantees that after that he will continue playing. 19 years is a a massive effort. So rushing him back, the thing is, what are you rushing him back for? Honestly,
Nothing.
you're
Might
not
as well
going to
just
make
wait till next year.
exactly. You're not going to make the playoffs, and all that rushing Dirk back might do is just improve your position in the standings. You're still going
But
to
if you're
finish
not making playoffs,
rubbish,
what's the point?
and you're going to
Yeah.
get a bad pick. Like if they don't bring him back, get him right, then it's not tanking, because you don't want to tank, obviously, because that's
You're
just
resting
toxic
your
to your
star player.
culture. You're just resting a player who's 38 years old and obviously having massive issues with his Achilles. He's tried to come back multiple times and it's not working. So don't rush him back just for some, let's just make our our record look a little bit better on paper. That's just covering up cracks with a band-aid. It's pointless.
It's very similar to the Lakers with Kobe Bryant, isn't it?
In a way.
Just holding on to their franchise.
They're holding on to a legend, right? But in
They're
the
not-
end, it's just wasting their time rebuilding. They should be rebuilding now.
Yeah.
Dirk
To be-
Nowitzki's not going to play in their next
No, he's
title
not
winning
going to
team,
play
is
in
he?
their next.
If they want to have a serious crack, they should give Dirk the rest of the year. Go into free agency if they
Try
really
get a DeMarcus or someone like that.
go out and try and buy. Don't bother risking Dirk now.
Exactly.
There's no point.
There's no point at all. They need to keep giving guys like obviously Justin Anderson, who was one of their higher picks in recent years. He's in his second season. He's struggling quite a bit after a promising first season. Seth Curry, give these guys that have potential, give them minutes. There's no harm in it. If you don't give them minutes, you're never going to know if they actually have the talent to make it on an NBA list. And look to move on some of your veterans. Guys like, obviously they just bought in Bogut, but guys like Bogut and Darren Williams, if you can get decent trade value for them now, I'd say go for it, because they're not going to be a part of your next team. Right now, this team is not like it needs experience to, get it into a position where they're contending. It's really pointless, especially with obviously Bogut showing that, and shown throughout his career, that dealing with injuries is a big issue.
He's always been injury prone.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that season, a couple of seasons ago when they won the title, that he kept fairly fit for most of it.
Yeah.
But now it's coming back.
It's falling apart again, yeah. Obviously, Dallas have huge issues, and it doesn't look like it's going to fix itself anytime soon. Although they have, in the last couple of games, they've won more than they have to start the season. But when you have less wins than Philly, you have a problem.
Philly, the epitome of trash.
Yes, that's not a good look for your franchise.